Welcome to this episode of Bold Moves, where we showcase countries in developing regions that are innovating and pioneering exciting solutions in their quest to achieve a cleaner and greener energy future. In this episode, we visit Kenya, a country that is leading the world in many respects in their green growth planning. In fact, Kenya is one of only a handful of countries in the world where 90% of its electricity generation comes from renewable energy sources. With abundant geothermal and hydropower, Kenya is striving to attain a higher growth rate in line with their Vision 2030 plan, which calls for the growth of a green economy that can provide opportunities locally and to the rest of the world. In short, Kenya is flipping the narrative and showing the world that Africa can lead on green growth. Just the kind of country we love to profile here on Bold Moves. My colleague Elizabeth Wanget-Chichege is standing by to show you Kenya's amazing green growth journey. Over to you.
Thank you, Sherry. Welcome to Bold Moves by Sustainable Energy for All, exploring the transformative journey towards clean energy in Kenya. Today, we bring you exclusive insights from key figures at the forefront of this mission. Let's dive into the facts and figures shaping Kenya's clean energy landscape.
Kenya, with its over 90% renewable energy, stands at an incredible opportunity to unlock a green growth path towards economic development, but also decarbonizing not just the country, but also globally. And the way I think about the green growth for Kenya is what are the global industries that by moving to Kenya can leverage the renewable energy opportunity and unlock decarbonization from a sector perspective, while also driving a green growth path for the country. So everything from green data centers to e-mobility to green manufacturing. And as the youngest continent in the world, with a growing population, we need jobs. And by leapfrogging industrialized world, by creating new industries for the future that are based on renewable energy, we also meet that requirement for a green growth path for the young people in Kenya.
We have the potential to provide green, clean energy that can contribute to the entire world's decarbonization if well resourced. So what Kenya is saying, and the rest of the continent is saying, is we are open for investment. We are open for business. We have resources that require the right investments that can be scaled to help ourselves and the rest of the world to become green at scale and with the necessary speed. And yes, Africa is ready. The leadership of Africa have demonstrated in several occasions their willingness and readiness to join and to lead from the front the transformation towards green, climate-positive growth for Africa and for the world.
Kenya is not alone in this journey. Development partners like Rockefeller Foundation and the Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet work together with communities, government, private sector, and the whole of society to make electricity accessible to all. So what lessons can we carry into the future? And how can we ensure equitable access to electricity for all?
We've been set up by three philanthropies, Bezos Earth Fund, IKEA, and Rockefeller Foundation to drive three outcomes: CO2 reduction, job creation, and of course, renewable energy. But to achieve that, we must work with very capable partners who are action-oriented, who seek to address the challenges on the continent and globally in a very efficient, but also technically correct way. Sustainable Energy for All has demonstrated that it has the ability to move quickly, to take risks, to pilot new opportunities, and support governments, and the Green Growth Plan in Kenya is such an example. Sustainable Energy for All is very responsive to government priorities. It has a really strong team that gets on the ground quickly and knows how to really respond to the needs of the climate, but also the energy access agenda. Sustainable Energy for All has championed strongly the need for focusing on energy access in order to drive development on the continent. but also has championed very, very strongly the energy transition, but a just energy transition with a focus on communities. Creates things like solar for mini-grids, but also solar for markets, which creates jobs, drives just transition, because the people who are benefiting are local communities, they are local business people in the market who are transitioning from diesel generators to solar-powered electrification. So energy efficiency is crucial to the continent. Every kilowatt hour has a cost to generate, to transmit, and to consume. And so the less you need in order to achieve an outcome, whether it's making dinner or it's transportation or it's industrialization, the lower the cost to the consumer or to the industry, and therefore the better for the economy. And so energy efficiency must be at the heart of all the work that we do, and I've seen that with sustainable energy for all. If you look at the cost of equipment, solar panels, hydropower, even things like wind, the cost of implementing a new power plant is significantly high. The timelines are significantly long. And yet in today's world, with anything from LED lights to electric pressure cookers to e-mobility, you can really leverage the kilowatt hours you have today to get a lot more out of them and therefore save on investing in new generation, while also providing returns to investors and therefore a much more attractive growth path for our economies.
Africa is facing a poly-crisis, and Kenya is definitely included in that. Today, we are seeing the effects of climate change. We are seeing high inflation. We're seeing the high cost of food caused by supply chain issues. We're seeing high debt, and we're seeing a declining exchange rate for most African countries. So one of the things that I really believe that has huge potential for Africa and for Kenya specifically is the area of carbon markets. Carbon markets offer a new financing instrument that will allow African governments as well as Kenya to attract investment from the private sector, but also to empower communities by having them given an opportunity to share in the proceeds from the sale of carbon credits. Carbon credits are a source of capital for government to drive development. They also assist the government in fighting the effects of climate change as we increase the amount of carbon being extracted from the environment through increasing carbon credit projects. We have a collective duty as government, as philanthropy, as the private sector, to work together to make African carbon markets work. The African Carbon Markets Initiative is doing just that. It's a platform that brings together all the stakeholders across the carbon markets value chain, and we are proud to be associated with this initiative.
Kenya has implemented strategic initiatives to empower young people as change agents in the energy sector, recognizing their innovative spirit and urgency. This includes fostering youth-led organizations and platforms, creating spaces for networking and advocacy, and actively supporting youth entrepreneurship in energy through training, mentorship, and funding programs. Youth participation in energy policy, especially in the development of the same, ensures that their views are heard and their needs are met.
This traineeship program will be essential to the energy transition and investment plan, as well as SE for all activities in Kenya, as it will take advantage of the human resource and capital by building the capacity of young people and equipping them with the technical expertise to address the challenges and the gaps that the energy sector is facing.
This training program is important to me because it offers a unique platform to be able to get mentorship skills, technical skills, and also enables me to network with leaders in the industry, so it provides exposure. My future plans are to use the skills I have learned in sustainable energy, clean cooking, and data management to advance my career in the energy sector. I also hope to be involved in projects that are energy related and allow us as a country to be able to achieve the SDG 7 goals.
Being in this program has been so instrumental to me and in my career growth, because through this I've been able to learn about energy efficiency, I've been able to learn about renewable energy, clean cooking, and so many other activities that undergo in line with the universal access of energy for all. Being part of the organization has been so interesting because there are not so many women in this industry and in this space of energy, and being given that opportunity as a young woman and a youth, it is something that has motivated me, and I'm sure from this I can be able to be a mentor to other youths and other young women who would also want to be part of this energy space.
Kenya is a global leader in the transition to a renewable energy future, with over 90% of its electricity coming from renewable sources like geothermal, hydropower, wind, and decentralized solar photovoltaic systems. With the goal and the target of 100% of clean energy by 2030, Kenya is leveraging abundant renewable resources, cost-effective technologies, and growing climate change awareness.
As Africa, we are ready to play our part in full. The Nairobi Declaration, which we adopted at the conclusion of the first Africa Climate Summit, set out the vision and pathway for Africa to be a vital part of the global solution to the existential climate challenge we face. The declaration captures the consensus of the African government leaders for climate-positive growth that harnesses our ample human natural resources. It commits us to triple renewable energy capacity, establish green manufacturing, halt and reverse deforestation, promote sustainable agriculture, promote nature-based solutions, support the global call to phase down coal plants and eliminate inefficient fossil fuel production subsidies, and further amplify calls for a new global financial architecture and global carbon tax. In Kenya, we have transformed this vision into tangible goals. Our plan is ambitious to expand our current energy capacity of approximately 3 gigawatts to 100 gigawatts of entirely renewable power by 2050 as a cornerstone of our green industrialization strategy. This level of ambition must be matched by the global commitment to achieve concrete, action-oriented outcomes.
There's so many benefits on electric motorbike. Before, I used to use like 600 to 800 shillings. But now, using the electric motorbike, I can swap like once, and I'm paying only 280 shillings. And also, maintenance-wise, electric motorbike is cheap because it has no chain, it has no oil. You know, with the petrol bike, you have to change oil, sprocket, chain, so many things. With the electric bike, there's no those things. It's also friendly to the environment because there's no air pollution. It's so silent, no noise. And right now, I don't think I can go back to a petrol bike. I urge my fellow riders to go green.
My life has really changed because cocoa gives us a very good commission from the items we sell. Advantage, the fuel itself, it has no soot, and it is faster to cook than gas. For those who experiences cocoa right now, it's cheaper than the fuel and the kerosene, even gas. Because if you can't afford for the full canisters, which contains 2.3 liters, which goes for 189 shillings, you can buy a bundle of 25 shillings, 40 shillings, 60 shillings. For the least amount you can buy is 25 shillings.
Clean energy solutions cannot be reached without energy efficiency, as it serves as a cornerstone for optimizing resource utilization, minimizing wastage of the same resources, and ensuring the orderly transition to a low-carbon future. We have passive solutions that enhance energy efficiency and help reduce overall energy consumption. When cooling systems are designed to operate with higher efficiency, they contribute to lowering greenhouse gas emissions, aligning with the goals of a low-carbon transition.
My company, Baridi, was the winner of the This Is Cool Challenge 2023, and Baridi is a solar cold storage solution provider that is focused on solving post-slaughter meat losses within East Africa's livestock value chain. I happened to stumble upon the This Is Cool challenge within my LinkedIn feed, and we found it viable to present our solution just because of the relative interest that Baridi has with the This Is Cool challenge. We applied within the format and then traveled to Dubai for the COP28 summit, where we presented our solutions, and it ended up being the This Is Cool challenge winner of 2023. And this is just basically because of our sub-zero technology, unique propositions, as well as our relatively scaled solutions that saw profitability within the next 2 to 3 years. Our solar cold storage at Barma Meat Market comprises of a 3 kilowatt peak solar PV system, a 15 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery system, and a 1 metric ton capacity cold room that is insulated with polyurethane panels. And our Marikiti Market asset is a slightly bigger one. It has 7 kilowatt peak worth of solar energy, a 5 metric ton capacity, which is double the one at Barma, and we mostly use thermal storage technology that enables the off-grid nature of this cold room.
GEAPP has what you call the Center for Energy Efficiency, Green Growth, and Circular Economy. We're actually a center of excellence when it comes to energy efficiency. We've been doing this on behalf of the government for the last 18 years. We've been able to do massive audits and bring efficiency from the basic level to very advanced. Now we are actually adding efficiency on water and also, waste management. So green manufacturing is actually driving that efficiency and minimizing the impact. GEAPP has incubated what you're calling producer responsibility organizations like PACPRO and KEPRO. And we're looking at even doing much more because we need to expand that space to be able to capture all that. All these efforts are towards green manufacturing. But as we do that also, because some of these have been incremental efforts, we need also to look at how to completely transform this. What are the new technologies that we are going to use? If you look at solar technology today, we need to now defy physics and come with really turnkey and solutions that have not been found before. Is it green hydrogen? What are the other sources? What about captive power that you can be able to produce in-house with, and you're sustainable by using either solar, green hydrogen, or any other source of energy? And I think that will converge as we also drive other ways of producing using 3D printing, that is additive manufacturing technology, as opposed to currently what we do as extractive manufacturing. How do we use the technology tech in the fourth industrial revolution? How do we employ, robotics? How do we get into AI? How do we, introduce data analytics, predictive analytics to our production facilities? All this will culminate in making manufacturing more efficient and also reduce the impact to the environment. And we're leading that conversation. And as manufacturers, we have a huge play in making sure that we lead this conversation to green manufacturing. And we intend to take, all the efforts as GEAPP to be able to be the thought leader in this subject. But more importantly, and we have aligned this to our pillars, global competitiveness. How do we become more efficient? How do we use technology? Number 2, agriculture for industry. How do we start dealing with the transportation? Because we import a lot of raw materials, including some of them in agriculture. We've been importing maize, soybean. How do we work on new value chains to localize this and minimize the transportation need for transportation by sea? We have export, and as we talk about export, we have seen our customers in mature markets like EU and the US demanding that they need to know how goods are produced. We are moving towards net zero emission in the EU, and that really these conversations are driven by consumers. We must transition our industries, our factories to net zero, and it's not a matter of choice. It's something that we must.
The progress made by Kenya serves as an example to the world that environmentally friendly, cost-effective, and clean energy can be universally obtained. Kenya's relentless pursuit of sustainability remains a bold beacon for others to follow.